Take a deep breath. Let's inhale. Exhale. Inhale golden light from our crown chakra, going down to our spine, to our root chakra, up again to our crown chakra. So let's inhale, exhale, and our body becomes more relaxed. Now, let's imagine Mohanji in our heart center. Mohanji in a golden light in our heart chakra. I now invoke Mohanji's presence in today's reading. Oh, Mohanji, please bless us while we read your leelas and story about you. May you guide us and bless us, those who are here today and those who are listening to the story. So I'll start the chapter 1 of Baba, Mohanji, and Masters. Chapter 1, Guided by an Invisible Hand. An Encounter with an Ageless Saint of the Himalayas by Mohanji. In 2002, I visited the Badrinath temple in the Himalayas along with Banamali Mataji at almost 11,000 feet with low oxygen and temperatures. I had asthma and bronchitis and was feeling tired and experiencing breathlessness. One can expect many strange and undefinable things in the Himalayas. On the night of our arrival, I saw a bright round object that looked like a flying saucer, UFO, an unidentified flying object. When I look up in the sky above the temple, I have heard that some great masters meditating in the Himalayas are not from Earth. Hence, a UFO sighting was a distinct possibility since aliens could be visiting great masters in the Himalayas. In the morning, I saw a mountain behind the temple that was not visible at night. I could see a small hut on the top of the mountain, but no roads leading to it. I asked Mataji about the hut, and she said an old saint lived there. I could not fathom the possibility of an old saint meditating so high up in the mountain in such a cold conditions. I desired to meet him, but the inaccessibility of his location and my health condition made my wish impossible. We stayed at Badrinath for a couple of days. We distributed food and blankets. Mataji informed us that we would depart after the prayers in the temple the following morning. That day, the temple was packed with people. Mataji was allowed to sit right before the Sanctum Sanctorium. I got into the fourth or fifth line behind her. From where I sat, I could easily see what was happening inside the temple. The prayers and rituals had started, and everyone around was chanting mantras. There was high energy and great elevation. Suddenly, a frail old man came to the outer entrance and walked through the crowd straight to the front of Sanctum Sanctorium where Mataji was sitting. Everyone made way for him. Mataji moved to one side, and he sat down beside her. He was skinny, almost a skeleton. I felt a great hidden power inside the old frail body when I saw him. I sat observing this man and the ritual. When the prayers ended, everyone got up to leave. The old saint walked past me, looked into my eyes, and suddenly caught my right hand firmly. I can still feel his grip whenever I remember this incident. Amidst the crowd pushing and pulling us, he let go of my hand after holding my palm for a few seconds and walked out. He disappeared immediately and was nowhere to be found. Who was this saint? Why did he firmly hold my palm? Why did he intensely stare into my eyes? Why did he disappear so quickly? Everything was so mysterious. When I came out, Mataji was waiting outside. She said, "This trip is so blessed because I could sit next to a great yogi." I told her what he had done to me. She exclaimed, "You are fortunate. He is a great yogi who stays away from human contact." I asked, "Who is he?" She said, "The saint who lives in the mountain behind the temple. Since you cannot go there, he came down to see you." Such master always fulfill the sincere wish of seekers. That was such an overwhelming experience for me, a profound revelation. Gratitude filled my heart like never before. I never saw him again. I later found that Babaji's abode is supposed to be near Badrinath temple. I wonder, was that Mahavatar Babaji? Who knows? Does it matter? I now realize that Babaji is everywhere and does not stay just near Badrinath. Next story, Grace from Unknown Quarters by Mohanji. When I was practicing seriously, I was working as a country head of a multinational company, a very hectic job. I would use the time between 3 a.m. and 8 a.m. to connect to myself. Even if I slept at midnight due to a party or get together, I would still wake up at 2:30 a.m., take a full head bath, wipe myself clean, light a lamp. There was nothing else in my room, with just the lamp flame as the sole companion for my connection. My practice was to dissolve into that energy field, into myself. Nobody knew I was practicing as I kept my practice private and hardly visited temples or master. I was very happy practicing with myself. Whatever happened, I always practice. Dimensions start shifting because of my consistency. I was mainly practicing connecting to my spine, as in spontaneously feeling the spine while sitting, walking, talking, and etc. One can feel any part of the spine as per one's orientation. Usually, we experience a horizontal experience as per the flow of karma. When we concentrate on the spine, we start experiencing a vertical existence, which is beautiful state. In that state, past, present, and future have little value. There is only the present. I was practicing seriously like this for about 4 to 5 years. During 2006 and 2007, I often reached a blank state of mind. I would not even remember my name or identity. All identities would get erased. I did not exist. Similar to the deep sleep state where one is unaware of anything. Thankfully, this state usually lasted just a few hours to a few days. The maximum it lasted was a week. I came out of it with a fresh consciousness each time it happened. It was like a new butterfly coming out of a cocoon. Each blank state was a shift or elevation in consciousness, a metamorphosis. The most challenging part was explaining my state to my colleagues, as this was not good for a general manager responsible for the organization. It was challenging to work during those days. I would forget my signature. Occasionally, I would ask my financial controller to bring me all the papers I had signed earlier. I would look at those papers and learn to sign the check. After a while, he almost resigned, thinking I did not trust him. I convinced him it was not the case and was just checking the records. This was very frustrating. It reached a point where I decided I could not work like this and chose to quit. I sat down to write my resignation letter. This was before the advent of social media. We only had chat messengers, which I sparingly use because they were very intrusive and distracting. As I wrote my resignation letter, the chat window suddenly popped up with a message. Mohanji, are you there? From a teacher who taught me yoga 6 years ago. We had lost touch as I had moved to another country. I had even lost his number. Pleasantly surprised, I replied, yes, it is a real surprise. How did you find me? He replied, my master, my master appeared in my morning meditation and told me to inform you that the blank states will end this month. You will not experience them again. His response shocked me. Firstly, I had no connection with him for almost 6 years. He had no way of knowing my situation because I had not told anyone. I live alone and was not in a relationship. Further, I kept my spiritual practice private and seldom discussed them with anyone. After work, I would withdraw to my house. I hardly knew him, much less his master. I asked him, who is your master? He said his master left his body a long time ago at 90. I asked, how did you know? Then he said, Mohanji, I do not know anything. He asked me to convey the message to you. That's it. This was the answer I was seeking. I took down his phone number and called him, and he reiterated that he had no further information besides this message. He mentioned that his master had appeared a week or 10 days before our chat, asking him to convey this message to me. He could not get my contact information, so he dropped it. The day he contacted me, his master appeared again and scolded him. What sort of a disciple are you? I gave you a task and you did not bother to do it. I am ashamed to call you my disciple. Chastised, he immediately scrambled and got my email through an internet search. He tried my email on that chat messenger and he reached me. This was another realization. When a seeker is exposed to such metamorphoses, the masters take total control. They protect. This is my experience. We need not be close to any physical master per se. The protection is guaranteed. By the master's grace, protection, and blessing, no mishap happened during those times of emptiness. Such shifts are different for each person. Sometimes they are very drastic. Next story. Finding My Mother and Home in the Himalayas by Mohanji. Mata Devi Vanamali, the Divine Mother, is a compassionate, incarnate, and great Lord Krishna devotee. I fondly call her Mataji. She lives in a beautiful cozy ashram in Tapoban near Rishikesh on the banks of the river Ganga. Her ashram overlooks the Ganga and the Himalayan mountain beyond the river. The views from the ashram terrace and yard are breathtaking, especially watching the sunrise and sunset over this magnificent setting. Her man Friday is my namesake, whom I lovingly called Mohanji Etan, brother, a delightful gentleman and an excellent conversationalist. Everything about Mataji is so pure and sattvic that one cannot be touched by her mere presence. She is a prolific writer who has authored many lovely books on Lord Krishna, Lord Hanumanji, Lord Shiva, etc. Many blogs on various prominent platforms, many articles in print media, and written and spoken interviews with the press. Her ashram is much visited location in spiritual itineraries of many retreats and pilgrimage conducted in Rishikesh. I invited her as a guest speaker during my first retreat in Rishikesh. My connection with Mataji happened through a tenant who stayed at my parents' house. When I was in Muscat, my mother wanted to get him a job in the Middle East. I got him a visit visa brought him to Muscat, and stayed with me and looked for a job. He soon found a job there. While staying with me, he mentioned that his brother, Mohanji, Mohanji Etan, was a Swami who lived in the Himalayas. Since I was interested spiritually, I asked him to connect me to Mohanji Etan. I wrote to Mohanji Etan, and he replied and introduced me to Vanamali Mataji, which started the connection. In 2000, I decided to go there, book my tickets from Dubai to Kerala. After spending time with Amu and Sarita, Amu's mother, and my ex-wife, I was supposed to go to Pune for a land deal. On return, Amo and Sarita were to leave for Dubai and me to Rishikesh. When I reached Pune, I received news of Amo's death and returned to Kerala. After the rituals, I left Kerala immediately with Sarita for Rishikesh to avoid the sympathy of the well-wishers. Sarita and I went to Rishikesh by train. It was an awkward journey. We both coming to terms with our loss and wanted to be left alone, avoiding any interaction with fellow passengers. We reached Delhi, then Rishikesh, and went straight to Mataji's ashram. Mataji was the compassionate mother who counseled Sarita and me. She also took us around places in Rishikesh, which was my first introduction to River Ganga and the Himalayas. On subsequent trips to the Himalayas, I would stay at her ashram if she was around. Banamali Mataji performs an elaborate Krishna puja and arti in the morning and evening. Many people came to see her, and she taught them Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and other scriptural texts and gave them practices. When I asked her why she was not teaching me, she said, "I'm not your master. I am your mother." She adopted me as her spiritual son. She said, "A son does not need permission to visit his parents' house. This ashram is the same for you. You need no permission to come here. This is your home too." Thus, I found my mother and home in the Himalayas. She told me to chant Banamali Gadi, Sharingi Shanti, Chakri Cha, Nandaki, Sriman Narayano, Vishnur Vasudevu, Bi Rakshatu. Whenever I feel low or need of protection against my jealousy attacks and other negativities. I once even gave her Shaktipat. She experienced both Shiva and Vishnu consciousness. She said, this was the deepest experience indeed. I also recall the long and interesting discussion with Mohanji Etan, but he preferred to stay in the background and defer to Mataji. I express my deepest gratitude at Mataji's feet for providing a mother's unconditional love and support during my most vulnerable times. So, there's still so that's all for now. So Mohanji's experience in Himalayas and meeting with Mataji, Banamali Mataji. Thank you. So thank you for listening. So this is about Mohanji finding home in Himalayas and what he did during his grieving period. So he meditated his concentration and determination to really overcome his grieving is really intense. He meditated 3 a.m. up to 8 a.m. every day for 6 or 5 years, he said here.
That kind of commitment is so rare. I mean, how many of us are so committed to doing something like that?
Yeah.
And that came so naturally to Mohanji. I mean, that's a lesson for us.
Yeah.
I think also what got my attention was Mohanji did not let grief overtake him.
Mhm.
Because most of us, when something bad happens, we get so overtaken by it and we live off the sympathy of other people.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
like almost like we want people to tell us, I'm there for you. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel the pain. It's okay to suffer. Carry on suffering. I'm with you. What did Monchi do? He wasn't
He
there he did not make himself available. Huh?
Mhm. Actually, he isolated himself from his friends, family,
Yeah,
even wife.
yeah.
He really took it within him and started, going away from his trying to uh connect to his higher self because he doesn't know what to do anymore. He lost his beloved daughter. And
In such a tragic way, too.
yes, yes. And so sudden. It's not, you know, it's so
It
sudden.
was Amu's death that was a trigger for Monji's awakening.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. And it had to be in such conditions, such harsh, in such a harsh way that
Mm-hmm.
it would trigger Monji to actually take a path to speed him up. Otherwise, this would not have happened any sooner.
Yes, yes. According to the last reading we did yesterday, he said that they said the reason why it happened to him is because to shorten the time of so that he could realize himself, and because his career is taking his mission longer.
And also, he was very successful in his corporate world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Monji wouldn't have willingly left his corporate world and his successful life. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he had everything.
Mm-hmm.
Monji he had the best job. He had, such responsibility. He lived in a mansion, a house that had everything, you
Mm-hmm.
know, didn't need to, what would have motivated him to leave all this? He needed
Yeah.
something dressed.
Yeah.
Path of Avadutas is serious. I mean, the shift is big. And Monji took all that, to show us where to walk.
Mm-hmm.
We ought to be very grateful that we didn't have to go through all of that in order to reach where Monji is,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And he's making, our path actually easier.
Easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Monji is a roadmap. And also Monji tells us openly, he's not here to create followers. He doesn't want a follower. He wants to create masters. I mean, how many masters say that? Yeah, I don't want you to
I
be,
rarely heard such uh, a big pronouncement to any other master that I encounter. So yeah, it's really a blessing. Uh, when I wa-
points to the
when I heard that, I was so shocked. I could only read this book, these words from books, from Advaita Vedanta books. And now this master is, in front of me saying the same teachings. And are so
Hmm.
lucky, truly.
And Moji gives it to us in bite sizes so we don't get consumed. We can take it one step at a time and we are evolving every
Mhm.
step we take with Monji. We are moving. We're not stuck. You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
how blessed are we?
Yeah,
It's
truly.
your heart just you feel the depth of Monji's pain. Did you feel that? What he must have gone through to get to the point where he can make our lives easier.
Mm. Mhm. Yeah. And the love of the masters to Mohanji, it's really incredible because they really support him, the Guru Mandala. And their love and trust to Mohanji is really, you know, and they want us to do that to Mohanji also
Yeah,
to
see
trust
him.
him
Yeah, to see
to
him as not like a teacher,
mm,
but really something bigger.
mhm.
Absolutely.
And not to take and to take him seriously here, uh his presence here, to appreciate it, to to really hold on to him and not letting go.
Don't you feel like, we get tested for eligibility, to see whether we're ready for the next step. But we
Mhm.
don't get to suffer the pain to the
Mm,
extent that Moji had to suffer. He makes our life so manageable. He actually
mhm,
takes away our pain. He takes it
mhm,
away when we give it away. If we're holding on to it, can he take it?
mm,
No. When we hold on to things, we must be able to trust him
mhm,
in order to let go and surrender it. Surrender,
mhm,
it takes courage.
mhm. Yeah, that's what I experienced too when I was going through, my husband's passing last 2021. Without Mohanji, I don't know really what will happen to me, or how will I take the passing of my husband, because it's really a big shift for me. It's not just normal, that someone passes away. No, it's my husband, it's my partner, and it's so shocking. It's like it turned my world upside down, something like that. And everything became meaningless to me. And because of Mohanji, I was able to, because of his empowered workshop. During that time, I was already attending empowered workshop. And it was really, that was my, I was holding into that,
Exactly.
yeah. And
You
Mohanji,
stabilize,
yeah, he became my strength.
stabilize.
Yeah,
Yes.
Your
yeah,
anchor.
yeah, my
When,
anchor.
when we're stable, what happens when we're stable? When we are stable. So what happens? We are completely
Still
detached
unshakable.
from the
Yeah.
emotion and the impact of the karma, right? That what happens is we become detached
Mm-hmm.
and unaffected. We
Mm.
go into witness mode,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes. And it's not as painful as when you go through that. It's not as painful.
Because
And
you talk about Felix's death. I feel you, Joanna. I
yes.
feel you. For my mom, when my mom passed over 20 years ago, my life completely changed. I was devastated. I was finished. I
Mm-hmm.
was in another country, and I had to literally I gave her a hug, and I went. And a few months later, I couldn't believe my mom, who was well and healthy when I left, just completely, she just died on me. I was devastated. And I remember that time my life changed completely, my whole perspective about my career, my life. But you know what? When my dad died before year, I was stable. I was able to arrange the funeral. I was not like overly sobbing and crying and losing it. I had tears run down my eyes, but then that stopped and I became calm. Do you know why I was calm? Because I saw my father appear next to me in golden light, and he was smiling right next to me. And I knew Monji took care of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he came to reassure me. I know that Monji is taking care of him. I knew that. But to see my dad in this glowing angelic light, it's like just a being filled with, and he was so happy. He beamed at me. It's
Mm-hmm.
like he didn't have to speak. And that gave me so much peace. I
Mm-hmm.
never cried again. I did not cry again.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Monji does for us.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And
And
Rose, how did you feel? Rose?
Um,
Sorry, Joanna, I
it's
interrupted you
okay.
there.
go ahead.
Rose.
Rose is
Yes.
Rose is
I was just thinking of the shifts in our lives that propels us to follow the spiritual path, because I noticed that with Joanna, we and me, we all ended like relationships, and then it opened a new door, like service, and not to think of ourselves, but thinking of how to be of service to others, and also looking or finding our purpose.
Yes. Yes.
So it's like a big change, like a catalyst.
Mhm.
When you lose something that was really precious to you. So yes.
Yeah.
We
When you lose something precious to you, you have now you have nothing to cling on to but spiritual.
God,
Yeah,
yes.
God and your guru. Because everything cannot understand what is inside of you, what is your feeling. And it is only God that could it's only God or your guru could understand you.
And lucky for me, very I was really blessed because during that time, Mohanji was already there. We was ready with Mohanji. Like upon entering, Mohanji's here. I mean, follow the meditation. I mean, even if I experience that pain, I mean I've entered into something really life-changing and wonderful.
absolutely less pain than it was
Yes.
before.
Yes.
That's all. It's like all the pain. If you trust Mohanji, he takes it away. He's allowed to take it away. And masters, it's all about free will, right? Everything is about free will. Are you willing to give up the pain? How many people hold on to this? This is why you can understand why there's so much pain and misery in this world, is simply because we don't know how to give it up. The Monji's journey is, I think this book is incredible because it gives us an insight into what was going on in Monji's mind at the time he was going through this in first person. It's not like this is Monji's journey. This is him, talking and saying this is what it felt like and how he handled it. There was no one to show him anything.
Yes.
Nobody. He didn't, he was busy. He wasn't even looking for anybody. One thing led to another. And in the grand scope of things, how does the masters, it's so beautiful how the masters conspire to help us, help Monj get to where he needed to be. He had forgotten who he was. I'm sure now, even though he doesn't call himself anything, he doesn't even call himself a guru. He doesn't.
His humility.
We are the ones who say, we are the ones who say, you are special. You are this, you are that. You're an avatar. Monji says, I don't call myself that. I don't even ask people to follow me. But people converge on him because Monji is the light that we want to merge into. We want to become Monji. How does Monji say that how do we do that? He throws it back at us. He says, be you. Be you. He's not asking us to be him. Always. Mirror, mirror, mirror. He says, I'm your mirror. So look in the mirror and see yourself. Isn't it? Not just comb your hair and look nice, for the day.
Yeah.
You look nice for yourself, inside and outside. Look at yourself. Why don't you teach us that? Be you, be you. Be you.
Because usually when we are in pain, like going back to where I was, we easily get addicted to the pain. Like it is our connection to feel like we are feeling, and then we forget about what we have to do, our purpose, because we are stuck there. So lucky for us, lucky few who found like a guru like Mohanji who could lead us out of that. And lucky for a few who find people that could help, like usher, like just guide.
It's more than luck,
bring-
Yeah.
It's a
the
blessing, it's
destiny.
grace.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've been blessed in this life. Accept it.
Mhm.
You earned it.
Yes.
Be yourself. You deserve it. You don't ask anyone for anything. Don't look outside. You
Mhm.
are it. Moji is here to remind us we are this light we see in him. We are that too. How can we be any less, he says. Moji is such a wake-up call for me.
Mm.
I remember in so much insecurity growing up. Now I don't really care about anything else. I just,
Yeah.
you know, I always ask myself, I always introspect, does it feel right to me? Yes, there are a lot of things confuse us, I'll be honest. It's part of our journey to learn. Onji allows us to learn. So whatever happens, take the good of it. Take the good. So there's no good and bad. Really, we make it such, all the polarities come, good, bad, good, evil. That's the indoctrination to keep us away outside, engaged on the outside. So you came to experience this experience that you chose. You came to experience. Feel it. If there's pain, feel it. Because when you feel it, it doesn't ever come again in any lifetime.
Yes.
You dissolve it. Isn't that so, Jack?
Yes, yes, yes. Because you're finishing it up, you're completing the energy that's been unfulfilled, from the past. And now when you had that completion, according to Mohanji's teaching, you finish that off so that you don't carry that energy to the next lifetime. And
Absolutely.
I remember when Felix passed away, I think during his when he was sick, I had a dream about him that he was also, I had this attachment to him in my past life during in our time in US around 1920s. I was so shocked when he died in my arms. He had cancer that time, and it's so traumatic to me that I never got the chance to resolve that. That's why when he got sick this lifetime, I was able to process my emotion, and he's passing in a very calm and acceptance and letting go. Yeah, because of Mohanji, because of his teaching, I was able to go through it as calmly as as possible.
So blessed.
Yeah, so
You're
because of
so blessed.
Mohanji, it's all his grace, and it's all
Yeah,
his
we don't realize how much grace fills our lives. We don't. I
yeah.
mean, Wiwi, you made such a big move.
We
You have
too.
big.
Yeah, no, his experience also with her husband, it's not easy.
Yeah. Like looking back, what I experienced, the tragic event that happened to us, our family, 2012, and hearing Mohanji's story just made me like connect to him deeper, because we have like similarity of experiencing death in the family, and that event really like pushed me to really find purpose in life.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah, and even just push me also to to tell God that just to use me to inspire
Mm.
women how to have this strength and to teach kids
Mhm.
how to be strong also in character because
Mm.
because my husband died of suicide.
Yeah.
So it was like he has a childhood, inferiority. So it opened my eyes to that uh, importance of making kids happy
Mhm.
during childhood because eventually it will have an effect in their life, in the adult life. So when I heard about Mohanji's story, it was like, oh my gosh. So I'm also in the path of pursuing the spirituality for people to learn, to like to be inspired with my story also, just
Mhm.
like what Mohanji did.
Yeah.
And to to turn that pain into purpose.
Mm.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
And you're doing it.
Yes.
Really, you're
Yes.
doing it. You're beaming. Look at
Because
the
of
transformation
yeah.
in your life.
Mhm.
There's clarity of your higher purpose. You came here to dissolve. So you're not trapped in the pain.
Yes. Yes.
You are helping those that need
Yes.
help. You're
Yes.
alleviating them, you're healing them, helping them to heal.
Oh,
What you do is beautiful, Wee.
Thank
What you
you.
do is inspirational. And you follow the guidance that comes from your heart. Because
Mhm.
you are your own guru. You know that. You are the guru you seek. Because what does Monji tell us? Be you. Be you. Be you. I am your mirror. He doesn't ask us for anything else. He doesn't give us a long list, do's and don'ts. Have you noticed what happens to most of us? We get subverted, we get diverted, we
Mhm.
get confused. There's always a lot of confusion that comes when there's no clarity of higher purpose. Love has no rules. When we do something out of love, like what you're doing, there's no rules.
Mm.
You can't ask for rules. The rules belong in the world of Maya, and rules are confinement,
Mhm.
conformity. And when we act out of love, unconditional love, everything opens up.
Mhm.
Grace just flows. Grace flows. Does grace have any rules? Love me because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go on. These are the rules. Monchi doesn't give us any rules. Does Monchi say, I will love you if you do this, that, and whatever? He doesn't. Who creates the rules? The
Our mind.
conditioning
I
of
remind
humanity.
you.
Well, he doesn't give us any rules. You're following your heart and you're reaching out to those kids and to communities that need you. That's so beautiful.
Yes, ma'am. And now, 11 years after, I'm in a different story,
Mm.
removing everything like money, position, possessions. It's like, okay, so again, Mohanji is there to guide me through it, to
Yeah,
everything,
Mm.
yeah.
learning
You're
from his story.
firework. You're walking through fire. And then
Yeah.
you realize, I am the fire. I am that fire. Wow.
And this time
We.
you have like this
Yeah.
parang greater strength
Mhm.
because you have like Mohanji
Yes.
always with you, taking your hand. So it's easier. It became easier now, like after Shirdi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also understanding and accepting yourself. You become stronger, and
Mm.
as things become clear in your mind, you find that your purpose becomes clear.
Clearer.
Everything gets refined. There's no blocks. What is a primary block? What is a primary block? What is the
Ego.
main thing there?
Our ego and mind.
Our mind.
Absolutely. Ego mind. We trip over ourselves. We are the ones who make ourselves suffer. We are the ones that are thinking the thoughts. We are the ones that are entertaining external negative feedback experiences, all the negative stuff. We are doing it. We are saying, okay, come, let's entertain my mind. All the low frequency stuff.
Entertainment of them.
Choose your frequency. Yeah. Choose your frequency.
Yes.
Aren't we all
Mm.
frequency? We're not just physical body.
Mhm.
This physical self is a small part of who we are. We're multi-dimensional beings with unlimited power.
Mhm.
Does not mean power in this world of Maya. Beyond. Wow. And I think to myself, even now as I talk, I'm also listening. It's like you're channeling.
Yeah.
You feel like you're almost channeling Mohanji with the
Yes.
fire and everything that comes through in these conversations.
Yeah.
You feel Mohanji's energy.
Yeah.
We
It's
are full.
different. It's different. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I think Mohanji is with us right now. He's talking with us right now. I can really feel something, not the usual. So I'm so happy we're doing this. We just acted this spontaneously and we're happy we're doing this. We're learning a lot and I'm so happy. We suggested also to me to read this.
Yeah, because I think it's a very powerful book.
Mm-hmm.
It will really deepen our connection to Mohanji.
Mm-mm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You guys are innovators.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are innovators. You get together and you do it. You don't just talk about it, you do it. You're motivated by such clarity and you get things done. Because what you do is impacting whoever gets to, whoever is blessed to listen or watch this reading. They are blessed.
Mm-hmm.
Even by the conversations and things that we talk about, we may think it's mundane, unimpressive. We may not be aware that someone is listening that needs to hear something.
Yes.
There's greater good that's coming out of satsang.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Actually,
Because
yeah, we're planning to do this in 2 weeks' time, but we cannot delay it anymore. We're so excited to read. And yeah, and we were happy we're doing this again. Just a few days gap between the Sai Satcharita reading and this one. We are
and I'm
totally
excited to be
empowered.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't actually get the book because I had a problem actually buying it online. Somehow I couldn't access the book. I had to sort out some things with my banking cards and whatever. So I couldn't actually, it wasn't accepting. And I was like, how am I going to get this book?
I could
And yeah, you guys,
I could buy it for you and send it to you as gift on the Amazon. If you have
Yes, girl.
Kindle, Kindle.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about how we can actually cross transact this. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So thank you.
Even Tita Diana is excited now to purchase the book through Amazon.
mhm.
Who is?
Tita
Is
Diana.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dana is on fire again. I'm so
Yes.
glad.
Yes.
She told me that she's doing already applied for consciousness Kriya, and she was so shocked when he got to know when she got to know
She
that
got accepted.
his husband is also applying on his own.
Yay. And they'll be trained like next month.
Yeah.
She's such a beautiful soul, and so is her husband.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always so good, and she's full of fire. We can't think we are at the end of our lives. We're just beginning. We also consumed with age and what we're doing. Oh, how much time we have, or we're getting old. No, The power to be yourself cannot be contained in a age of a being's body. We are more than just this physical being that's manifest. We are more than that. We are eternal beings with a higher purpose. You know, we came here not just to help Moji, we came to help ourselves. So Moji always tells us, redirects us. Look inside, look inside, look inside. You know.
So now
And
now I'm excited to represent Mohanji when I share my energy with the boys, with the center full of
I'm so
street
happy.
kids.
So happy.
can't
Yeah,
wait.
it's exciting.
Yeah.
Please take videos with
Yeah.
permission, of course.
With permission.
Take videos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or take
yeah.
photographs.
Oh, you can
Please.
invite Stanley to join you, Wee.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because
He can do with you
can share.
and do healing for the boys also, if it's possible, or maybe for the teachers, just for them to feel what it is.
For all of them there at the center. Because the
How many?
executive
Four?
six workers plus eight kids.
Yeah. Wow.
Exciting.
Exciting.
8 kids. Did you
Eight,
say 8 kids?
eight street kids.
Okay.
So these are hardcore.
They are very
kids.
blessed. I can
Yeah.
tell that those kids are really special.
Bringing
Those kids are
Mohanji to
blessed.
their center.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at what's coming. Golden energy has already entered their lives. When you decided this, they were blessed. On the moment you made that decision to go there.
Because
Yeah.
Because it was
this is the third orphanage that I visited. The first one, it's like a Catholic run by nuns, and then I offered them the services of yoga. They didn't contacted me again, and then I went yesterday to another orphanage, and it closed down. Yeah, so I got a call yesterday with this orphanage that I sent an email that they're willing to meet with me.
Wow.
So I went this afternoon to their center. So it is Mohanji.
you see, Mohanji made this possible.
Yes.
Mohanji's grace is flowing where.
Yes.
Mohanji's grace is flowing. You are going where you need to be. You know, you are
Yes.
and the energy that's in you, and that the energy that will connect with these children and with these beings who take care of them is uh, for me, I'm awed because already I believe they are so blessed.
And I'm so happy to take on that job to bring Mohanji to them.
Oh. It's going to be life changing.
Yeah, for the boys, yeah.
For
It
the
will,
boys,
yeah, it will give them stability and
I was really
Everyone.
hoping to go
peace.
to an all-girls orphanage, but it led me to an all-boys center.
It's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You're meant to be there. You've actually started a movement. You started a movement, Riri.
Yeah.
This is good. You know, to be at the catalyst for something life changing. I mean, this is our guru who's been walked in the fire and become the fire, and now he just made us fire. So when we go into any place we're destined to go, we are there as triggers, as a catalyst for change. Don't think of yourself as any less. You're going in there empowered. Empowered. You are golden energy. This is the beautiful thing about it. Wow. I'm so excited just
Yeah, me
thinking about it.
too.
Thanks to Johannes Mighty Healing, we'll be able to bless that center with food and other grocery items.
Yeah, I'll send her soon. And hopefully buy some food for the boys and some toiletries.
Yeah,
Exciting
wonderful.
pictures.
I'll document everything. Tutorials, they'll be needing assistance with teaching the kids. Imagine at 10 years old, they'll
They
be
cannot read,
taught,
they cannot
yeah, they'll
write.
be taught ABC.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's humbling to be a foster mom.
Yeah,
A
why
house
not?
mom.
Why not? Yeah. Hopefully, I could join you soon. Maybe August, month of August, I could go
Yes.
there too. And
Let's schedule a program there.
mhm, exciting.
Thank you for the support.
Yeah, and this reading is really helping us, increase our frequency so that we could help and connect to a lot of
Yeah, and
people.
connect to Mohanji deeper because we're like
Yes.
being tasked to do higher and bigger
Higher.
purpose,
Yeah,
bigger
yeah,
challenges ahead.
yeah. At least we're beacons of light, for those kids that I'm so happy and excited for you. We go, go, go.
Imagine
Ang
in the
ganda.
province, it's easy because like you have all the help, right?
Mhm.
All the friends there now. I'm
Ikaw
just
mag-isa lang. Oo nga. Yeah.
and here I don't have a car, so I have to ride the jeep to go there and hold on to an
Is it
umbrella.
far?
So it's I don't know,
Is
it's
it
like
far?
near there. It's near. And it's
At
like
least, there's some orphanage near you. It's easy to.
yeah, it's all around like here in Quezon City.
Marami
Wow.
talaga
Mostly
dyan.
in Cubao. That I was telling Jane. Jane, all orphanages are in Cubao area.
Andyan ba si Jane?
Wala. She's not here. But imagine, maybe that's her
Mhm.
connection. That's
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have to navigate Cubao for these orphanages.
Wow.
Very nice.
Wala na si Sandra. So, okay. Well, just thank you,
And
Rose. Thank you.
Thank
thank you, Joe.
you. Thank
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you
you.
for
Thank you, Rhea. Thank you,
attending.
Jo.
Thank you, Jai Mohanji.
Right.
Sairam. No, Sai- Okay. Thank you, Mohanji.
See you
Thank
tomorrow.
you. Thank
Thank you. Thank
you.
you. Good night.
Night.